Guys, what's going on? This is Matt and Dominic, and today I'm going over the SimpliSafe security system for your house. It is a do-it-yourself system, very easy to install. I've watched so many videos and absolutely love the system before even installing it, but of course I will have all the testimonials provided at the end after I test the system for a few weeks. So by the time you see this video, this has been installed a long time ago. So let's go ahead and go over. So it arrives in this box. It's not too big, and the first thing you get is you either get a permit for your monitoring permit. Depending on where you live, your police department or fire department might require you to have a permit in order to not receive a large fine for a dispatch of emergency services from your home alarm. So make sure you read this, make sure you call your local police department, do not dial 911, that is for emergency purposes. Look up on Google your local police department, it should have their phone number. Go ahead and ask them about this information, it tells you everything here. But let's go ahead and move on to what actually arrived. So obviously I live in a two-story house, so there are multiple entryways, there's multiple doors, multiple windows, and of course it's a large house, so let's go ahead and go over what's in here. Obviously the base station, this will be receiving all of the information about the sensors, as well as keep an 8-hour battery as stated in the manual. And it used to be like 4 days in their commercials, but now they say it's 8 hours. Still a lot of time. I mean, there's not a lot of times that the power's out for 8 hours. In fact, has never happened in this area, but this is the base station. We'll take a look at each one of these separately later on. Okay, this is the wireless keypad. This will go on either to one of your entry points, like a front door. For me, I'm going to place it by the front door and the garage door. They're right next to each other. I'm not worried about the basement. Nobody really enters the house through the basement. This is one of the ways to edit your system, the settings. You can also do it online using your keychain remote. There's a mobile app, but that requires a $24.99 service a month. There's also a $14.99 service that will allow you to dispatch authorities when your alarm goes off. They will contact you and everything. And then there's the free method. By not applying, you can just you'll have the alarm service installed, but nobody will be dispatched. Okay, guys. So this right here is a SimpliSafe panic button. This will go in the master bedroom. Literally, what it is it's a panic button. You press it just like that. It will contact the base station and it will set off an alarm. It has silent mode, which will actually set off an alarm discreetly. It'll still dispatch emergency services, but say you don't want the intruder to know that you set off an alarm, that will be silent mode. If you do want them to know that you set off an alarm, so to scare them off, maybe have them run away, which is better off for you, I guess, you would just keep it in regular mode. This is the 105 decibel wireless silent, guys. This thing is so freaking loud. I have not heard it in real, like in person, but on videos it is so freaking loud. This is definitely going outside. I didn't even want to test this indoors. This is to alarm neighbors and simply just cause a distress to make the intruder run away once again, because the best thing to happen to you guys is if the intruder runs away. You never want him to stay home. Or at your house, I guess. This is the extra keychain remote. One has already come pre-shipped in the box. There was a cover here. I actually never showed you guys. This is the cover. There's one keychain remote in here. The other one is in there. I'm going to give one to my parents and one to myself. Let's see. These are the entry sensors. Like I said, this is a large two-story house. Definitely going to have to use at least 3 for the entryways to the house, and then the rest will probably go on basement windows and other windows around. Probably going to order a lot more of them as the time moves on. Last but not least, this is the motion sensor. This thing here is very useful. A little too bright, can't focus on the words. This is the motion sensor. It goes in the corner, 5 feet off the ground is what is recommended. It can look down on the ground 45 degrees. At the angle 45 degrees, and it looks side to side at 90 degrees for a total coverage of 180 degrees side to side. So if you put it in the corner of a rectangular or a square room, it should be able to easily cover the entire room. And it also looks, I believe it is 30 feet out. It's in the manual, so don't quote me on that, but I think it can look out 30 feet out. So that's a really nice distance. Definitely installing it somewhere over here. So it's a big space here. Just want to make sure it definitely sees the staircase upstairs, because the biggest thing to protect is when you're, you know, you know, just upstairs compartments, I guess, where people are located, because that's more important than anything else in the house, are the lives of people. Okay, so anyways, that is the unboxing of the SimpliSafe system. Now I'm going to go ahead and install it. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody else to hold the camera for me while I do that, so I'm going to install it, but I will go ahead and obviously demonstrate the system to you in test mode and all that kind of stuff. So I will be back. Okay guys, so I'm about to plug in the base station. I decided to show you guys parts of the installation. I'm going to try to hold this the phone with one hand and plug it in. I also have a phone line, so that's kind of a backup method. It already has a chip in it. I believe it's by Verizon. It can also have T-Mobile, stuff like that, depending what the coverage in your area is. My coverage for Verizon is fantastic. I'm a customer of theirs. So here we go, plugging in for the first time.
Welcome to SimpliSafe, starting your system in test mode. When you have finished installing your sensors, you may exit test mode by pressing off.
Okay, there you go. So test mode is currently on, so obviously setting off any sensors will not set off the alarm. It will say, for example, if you disconnect the entry sensor, it will say things such as entry sensor or motion sensor, wireless keypad, stuff like that. There is a blue glowing light indicating that there's indeed a good connection to the monitoring center, but the subscription is not yet activated, so nothing will get really set off at this point. But after you're out of test mode, you will have 3 days to play around with your system, which will not set off any authorities. Actually, a really nice cord here, pretty long, so definitely reaches any outlet here, even a little bit of access. Once again, you don't need a phone line unless your coverage in your area is just non-existent. Here the coverage is really good, but just in case it is not able to connect wirelessly to the center, I do have a landline plugged in as a backup method. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and start installing some entry sensors. I will be right back. So here is the actual entry sensor. This is the size of it. My hands are pretty large. I don't know what to compare it to. I guess I can compare it to, say, I don't know, like a regular light switch. So here is the size. Alright. It's not too big. Here's a door. So it's going to go up here, right there. The maximum distance you can have between this is the sensor and this is the magnet is 2 inches is what it says in the manual. But obviously you want to place it as close as possible just in case you know, the door rattles a little bit or something happens, accidentally the door starts open. I don't know what can happen, but 2 inches is your maximum distance before the sensor is actually triggered. And you'll see a light here. It shines blue when the door closes and opens. These two notches here show where you should place the magnet in between those two. So this part will probably go up here, just like that. And then the actual magnet will go down on the door. So let's go ahead and install the, I guess, the entry sensor. Now the funny thing is I just realized there's a metal sheet embedded into my door, which is actually kind of cool. So because this is a magnet, it's not even attached yet. I mean, this is still, the adhesive is still available. I haven't used it yet. Of course I will. But the funny thing is it sticks right there. It just, boom, sticks right on. You can slide it around and stuff. So it's kind of cool. I can test out where to place that right now. And see, like I told you, you have to make sure it's kind of close. So right there's the end of my door. I'm going to place it right there. And here's a test. Listen up. The station will actually say entry sensor. That's kind of quiet. I don't know if you guys hear that, so listen again. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you heard that, but pretty much it says entry sensor, and it also blinks. Yeah. Anyways, that is how you pretty much install this on the doors. I will go ahead and show you a window as well. Okay guys, so here's an example of an entry sensor on a window. This is a window that simply slides up when you open it up. So let's go ahead and pop it open. It has locks here. And then the magnet is placed on the actual window. And then the entry sensor is facing away from what it usually will be. The light is on the other side. It really doesn't matter. I mean, who's going to be looking for the light? The system will still notify me if it's open. Actually, the alarm is armed right now. So I will go ahead and set it off. It's still in test mode, so nobody's going to get dispatched. Don't do this after 3 days or anything. They're going to get mad at you. Anyways, let's do this. Okay, so, alright, let's actually go over here. You can hear the keypad ticking. The base station is quiet until the alarm is set off. It's telling me to enter the pin. I have exactly 30 seconds to do this, and I can either enter it on here, or I actually carry a remote on my belt here that I can click off, away, and panic. Now the base station is in the other room, which is over here, and it just went off. I kind of jumped. So by the time the alarm goes off, let's go ahead and turn it off. Okay.
Alarm off. Warning, there was a recent alarm triggered by an entry sensor. Warning, an entry sensor is not responding. See the keypad for details.
So here's what happened. When the alarm went off on the base station, it doesn't matter if the base station gets destroyed by the intruder at that point, because the signal has been sent to the monitoring center of SimpliSafe if you have the subscription. Mine doesn't. It says no link to dispatcher because I haven't signed off yet. And here, actually, guys, when say an intruder has entered your house and you come back, the first time you open the door again, you will actually hear the system say there was a recent alarm triggered by an entry sensor, because that's what triggered it. It was that window over there. If it, say, was the motion sensor, which is over there on the wall, which I'll go over later, it would have also said something different. It also mentioned that one of the sensors is not responding. That could either be one of the sensors around the house, but it actually isn't. I have one sensor that was never placed yet, and it's just resting right there. No. This is a sensor that was never placed, and that is what it's referring to. Now, I can remove it from the system, but I'm not going to yet. I'm going to install it soon, just don't have a spot for it yet at the moment. But anyways, so there's a panic button on the SimpliSafe. Yeah, you see the sensor. There's a panic button on the keypad itself. Once again, if an intruder destroys this, it does not matter. You can run the system without this component. In fact, even though it recommends to install the keypad first out of all the features of the system, I installed all the entry sensors first. The keypad was the very last thing I've done. Let's go over a few things on the actual keypad. So you do have a menu button on here. There's not a lot of features, and I kind of like that. I like the simplicity. Remember, it's SimpliSafe. It's not complex safe or anything like that. And so I'm going to enter my PIN. Okay, so to get into the menu, you need a master PIN. That PIN will be able to arm the system, disarm the system, remove the alarm. What else? Pretty much it's a master PIN. You can also add additional pins using your keychain remote. You plug it into any computer, pop this off, it's a USB key. You'll open up a thing in a browser, so it doesn't install anything on your computer, which is nice. You can do it at any computer that supports a USB port. And then on there you can add additional pins. By the way, the key is also protected with your master PIN, so say somebody gets a hold of your key, they can't just randomly secretly add other keys to your system without knowing the master PIN. So say you have a worker or a babysitter that comes by every single day, and you don't really want her messing with the system, such as changing pins and all that kind of stuff, obviously. So you would give her a different PIN that you identify in the system as, say, the babysitter. So if you sign up for the $14.99 plus service, you actually get text messages saying the babysitter PIN number 2 has just unlocked the house, or has just disarmed the system, or has just armed the system, and stuff like that. So it's very, very, very useful overall. The way you navigate the menus, this is back, or I guess this is left. Home is right. It says change PIN. The dialing prefix, don't even mess with that. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe your landline component. Add component. So you buy a free sensor, you buy a carbon monoxide, a smoke sensor, water sensor, anything else that comes out in the future, you would add a component here by entering all the good stuff. Each component has a unique barcode. So yeah, anyways, you can remove a component. Say I will never put that sensor up, and I'm getting annoyed that it's always telling me that the sensor is not contacting the base station, whatever. It's annoying. I'm going to remove it, but for now, like I said, I won't. By the way, to enter any of these, you just press the away. It's very self-explanatory. Match up these buttons. Doesn't take too much to think about that. By the way, each of them have a number, so like I can press 1 and I'll go back to change pin. Number 4 will be remove component. 2 will be dialing prefix. 6 will be to exit the menu. 5 is the test mode. You know what? Let's just go ahead and go into test mode right now. Okay, so in case you don't hear what the base station is saying, you're probably not. It's just saying the system has just entered test mode. If you want to test your motion sensor, please use the button below it. So right now the motion sensors are not actually active. What I mean by that is they're not getting tested right now until you push the button below it, which I'll show you in a second. But all these sensors right now, I mean, they're hot, they're live, but they're not going to set off an alarm. It's just going to have the base station say motion sensor when it's set off. So listen in. Okay. Just said entry sensor. Cool. What you do, you go around your house, you test every single one, you make sure the base station responds. We're going to go ahead and go over to the motion sensor, which is almost the last component that I've installed. There's also a panic button located in the house, which we'll go over after this. But I'm going to stand up on a chair because I'm not tall enough. I'm a tall dude, but not tall enough for this. So here's the motion sensor. It has no like visible light inside. Usually I have some green light that indicates it's sensing someone. It doesn't. Actually very useful, because if an intruder is at your house, you don't want it to see that. You want it to accidentally trip it so that the authorities are actually, you know, deployed. So you kind of want to be secretive where it is for an intruder. But on the bottom, once you enter test mode, so guys, this button does absolutely nothing unless you're in test mode. Once you're in test mode, you got to push it. So listen up, it's going to say motion sensor. Okay, this motion sensor for the next 5 minutes is strictly in test mode, and it will not be active even if an intruder goes in your house. So, you know, yes, you just have to and you hear it saying motion sensor because it senses me. So what you're supposed to do is walk out of the room for 15 seconds. And that is the time it takes for that motion sensor to sort of reset its test mode. Don't ask me why I have like a naked dude on the... He's not really naked. I'm just watching Into the Wild at the moment. If you read the book or seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways. So, okay, 15 seconds pass by. Let's go ahead and test out when it's going to react. So the sensor's over there. Oh, it just reacted. Look at that. Wow. So it can see all the way over here. Like, guys, this is a huge area. This is the kitchen, the dining, the living room. I'm walking very slowly, by the way. I'm not, like, waving my hands or anything. There you go. It's not about your speed. It looks for infrared objects that are higher than 50 pounds, so it's just got an algorithm that looks for larger or smaller infrared objects. Now the cool thing is, basement door, if you come out of there and the house is in away mode, because that is when that sensor is activated. Obviously, guys, when it's home mode, you don't want the sensor active, because guess what? Well, I'm walking over here. My parents are walking over here. I don't know what's going on. Somebody's going to walk on, set the system off. That's not what you want to happen. Meanwhile, when the system is away, nobody's in home, you obviously want it on because there shouldn't be anybody walking here. Now, like I said, if you have pets, it is pet friendly for 30 pounds or less. Now, of course, there are dogs that are a lot more than 30 pounds. They could be 40, 50, 60. I don't know. I never had a dog. But there is a sensitivity setting on each of the sensors. Once again, you have to use your keychain remote for that. Plug it into a computer. It'll label it as a motion sensor. There's like off, low, medium, high. You know, if you have some really heavy dogs or just a lot of dogs in general, you probably set it to medium or low. And you know what? Put it in test mode and let your dogs run around. Test it out. This is exactly what this is for. And this is so user-friendly that it's awesome. This is, by the way, I'm not trying to endorse SimpliSafe. I'm just being an honest reviewer here. I didn't get sponsored or anything. I paid my own money for the system. I paid $407 for the system. It wasn't cheap at all, but it's a lot cheaper than paying to, say, ADT or Brinks or anything. I mean, my dad has ADT at his work, and I can see the system being easily implemented to his work for a lot cheaper. He's paying extreme fees per month for all the fire and whatever, carbon monoxide, all that kind of stuff, because it's a pizzeria, so there's a lot of things that, you know, have to be monitored there. But this system, you keep hearing it say motion sensor because I'm obviously standing in front of it. But you know what? Let's go to this side of the room where I have my I should say not my, but our awesome Christmas tree. It doesn't look that great when you put a flash on it. It looks a lot better if I would have been able to turn it off right now, but this is not a Christmas tree review, right? So let's see if it triggers me. I'm going to move really slowly. Remember, it is 180 degrees. It's not like... So it technically should sense me really soon here. Come on. So pretend like I entered that window, right? Because there's no other way to get to this part of the house without triggering it in the first place. Okay, so there we go. So as much as I tried, I only got close to exiting the living room area, but I never did. So a really good location for this. Also, it looks straight down the hallway. That was my plan. I wanted to place it up there, but I realized that it's not going to cover as much area as I wanted. I mean, these windows are protected by entry sensors. There's no reason. These windows here even have like a actual... I never realized that these are metal. So what these are is, first of all, this window is it's a very expensive window. It's made out of a special type of layer of plastic that apparently protects it from breaking. You'll break the glass, but you won't be able to break through the plastic. Plus, this right here, guys, you're only getting through with I don't know, some metal pliers or some, I don't know, metal cutters, but it's a really big pain in the ass to cut through these. So, you know, when thieves see these, they're not going to try. And then, of course, as long as you lock your windows, they're not going to try to pry them open. Like, come on, really? The only windows that need to be protected are windows like those where they can break. For that, they have like glass break sensors, which I didn't purchase yet. I might or might not. They sort of can be set up by simply clapping your hands, so you know you have to be careful because that's literally how you test them. You test them by clapping your hands near a window. So you know if somebody decides to go to your house and I don't know, you're celebrating a birthday party or watching a really intense concert, although I would never suggest to clap your hands unless you're at the actual concert, but you know there's those people, they'll clap their hands and boom, they set off the alarm and it's like, whoa, what's going on? So you know they have a lot of improvements to do, but I don't think the glass break is so important as the entry and the motion sensors are. Now I am planning to purchase about 2 more motion sensors, placing at least one right there and probably somewhere upstairs. I don't want to say where the valuables are in this house. I already revealed all the, strategic points of my house. I hope nobody knows where I live, but even if you do, I really don't suggest to breach this house. There are, you know, guns in this house and real weapons, and, you know, we're not afraid to use them if that is the case. Anyways, I'm not going to get into all that kind of stuff. So guys, let's go ahead and actually exit test mode. We don't need it anymore. We're going to actually activate the panic button as is. So I'm going to go ahead and go... Yeah, entry sensor is not responding, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go to 6. Oh, that's a 9. And then I'm going to go ahead and say entered. That is going to exit the menu and we are off. Okay, now we're going to go upstairs. I mean, Simply Safe. What I like about the voice is it's not a robotic voice. They actually got a professional recording of all the commands and stuff like that. So that's very nice. And you can update your base station via the entry key and stuff like that. So we're in my parents' master bedroom, and I placed the panic button in their room simply because I know they're not going to keep their car keys up here. And therefore they're not going to have the second key fob that they need. But what I did is I placed a panic button right here. Now, compared to your hand size, this is really small. I mean, it's probably 3 inches by 2. It's not a big button. And it's very useful because I can be laying in bed, say at night, and I hear somebody screwing around downstairs, and I know that it's, you know, not anybody else, maybe an intruder. Or, I don't know, something's happening, somebody's in here, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever. You feel threatened. Now, a lot of people think this is, oh, what if I accidentally bump it? Well, nothing. You have to hold it down for 2 seconds, alright, for it to set off. Now, there's 2 modes. There's the mode that it's in right now, which is the alarm mode. When you push it, it's going to sound the alarm. It's going to contact the center right away. They're going to give you a call if you don't respond. There's going to be authorities. Number 2, there's a silent mode, which is probably very useful if you're going to install this at a business location. Silent mode still sets off a signal to the monitoring center, but there's no audible alarm, so the intruder will never know you set it off. And the police is dispatched right away. There will be no phone calls. There will be nothing. So, you know, you got to be careful when you use the panic button, because in silent mode, I mean, because that's going to set off the authorities right away. There's no calling. There's no going back. Anyways, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Once again, don't do this. I'm in whatever, three-day trial. So let's go. Let's do this. Okay, it is set off. You might or might not be able to hear it at this point. It's kind of loud. I mean, you can definitely hear it. You'll probably wake up. So yeah, I'm sure you guys can hear it at this point. Whatever, at this point the authorities will be dispatched. Let's go ahead and use the remote to turn it off. I wish this camera would not just show a white piece of plastic here, and this flash is just too bright for it. Last but not least, panic button, away mode, and off mode. Away mode is like blue. Man, this is way too bright. Away mode is when you leave the house, you press away. So it's beeping right now. You got 60 seconds to exit. In the last 5 seconds, it's actually going to go beep, 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 beep. The alarm is now armed, but all motion sensors and entry sensors are active. That's what it's going to say. We're going to go ahead and turn it off. You can do that at any time. There's no password needed to turn it off. Like, say there's a countdown and you turn it off, you can do that. There's only a password required when you're trying to turn off after the home or away mode is activated, or the alarm goes off. Now, this is a really smart system. Say, let's pretend this door is somewhere downstairs, or maybe it's a window that you left open and you're leaving your house. Why can't I open it? Oh, there we go. Let's pretend you don't know that it's open, okay? Pretend like you don't see anything and you're like, alright, let's go away. Okay, it just said, please exit the house. Warning, door or window open. So it's very smart. It's going to notify you as you leave that something is left open. If you use their $24.99 service, you're going to be able to see this all in the mobile app, which I'm probably going to upgrade to anyways, because it's useful. Because, you know, once you exit the area of the base station, you can't use this key fob anymore once you exit the house far away. But the mobile app, you can be in freaking Australia and you have a house in the United States. As long as you have internet connection, you can disarm house. You can monitor the closing and opening of the sensors, temperature if you have the sensor, anything, water sensor, carbon monoxide, smoke sensor. So, you know, this is an expandable system up to 41 components as far as I know. Super useful. You can cut the landline, you can cut the internet, it doesn't matter. It's got a chip inside it just like a phone, so it will contact either way. So unless you breach the house in a particular matter and destroy the base station before it is set off, you have no chances of not setting it off in a way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to expanding the system to more motion sensors and entry sensors, as well as a few smoke and one carbon monoxide sensor. You know, that's pretty important. That's life-threatening stuff, and it's definitely worth to put it on the system, since it's, you know, automatic contact of dispatch center. It's your ADT system that is installed by you, no contracts, month-to-month basis, downgrade or upgrade at any time. You know, if you're going away or something, say you have a vacation house and you just want to monitor during your vacation while you're away from there, well, you can pay for those months and then you can stop. And while you're there, maybe you don't want it, so you can, you know, cancel and just keep it as an alarm, like right now. Right now, it's not going to contact dispatch center because, like I said, it's not, you know, there's no subscription. I haven't set it up yet online. Now, I will probably show you the online part of me setting up. Now, I won't show you a lot of stuff like serial numbers and stuff, because if you guys gain access to my serial numbers of the base station, I have no idea what you can do. With that, I'm sure you'll be able to do something nasty, and I don't want that happening. So yeah, I'll show you as much as I can of the online registration part. There's no YouTube video of any time recent that shows you the online registration or anything in depth. I think I provided a very in-depth guide on how the SimpliSafe system works. A lot of people just make these 5-minute videos, these cheesy, shaky videos that are just so hard to watch. The online application.